It's been a lot of uncertainty, but at the same time, man, you just got to stick to the task and keep the objective over any issue. And that's what I kind of done, regardless of, we really didn't have a season this year. My first time playing in over a year last week. So for me, it's about, staying in the grind and, staying focused regardless of anything's happening. And now that we know there's still the Olympics, which I'm, grateful for and happy for, it's about just, keep working hard. And once we get to, Tokyo, then do the thing. It made me want to train even harder, and it was like I went back to the drawing board and said, there's a lot of things I can fix and get better at, so let me take advantage of that now because I didn't have the time before. So for me, it was another year to prepare and even get better and sharper. At the same time, I was really fit last year, and I was ready to go. So for me, it was just like, man, you had to kind of go back to the drawing boards and it's trial and error because it was like everything I did last year, it may change this year. So how can I prepare and be the best that I can be when this opportunity presents itself this year? So to me, I just went back to the drawing board and worked on things that I couldn't at that time. For me, man, the Olympics only come every 4 years, so it's a great opportunity regardless of the stipulations and the circumstances. So for me, I'll be just happy to represent my country and then, bring that gold home, hopefully. We're definitely on a mission, especially we come up from the last 4 years. A couple of years ago, we finished second in the world, so we're just trying to make a statement. And regardless of COVID and whatnot, we're just trying to put USA Rugby on the map. We've already done that, but we're trying to do it on a bigger stage as far as the Olympics. And we just come up with a mission, man. We really want a medal. We really want to win gold, and that's what we're after. For me, I try to make adjustments, so that experience there I try to learn from. And then throughout the past 4 years, I try to learn from the experience as far as on the circuit. Different things, uncertainty, things happening, making adjustments here and there, and bringing that into Tokyo. So to Tokyo is going to be a lot different. Way different experience because there's won't be no crowd. It's going to be you can't go here, you can't do this. There's going to be a lot of restrictions, and you got to be careful because one thing, if you get COVID or one of your teammates get COVID, your whole team could be wiped out. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's about worrying about the controllables. Everything else you can't really worry about, but being on point with everything. And just for me, it's just about the process and sticking to the process and not worrying about everything else that you can't control because. On top of everything else, the pressure itself, if you add everything on top of that, man, you could really hurt yourself. So for me, just kind of keep things simple. I just love being home, seeing my family and friends. I don't get here a lot. So when I do, I appreciate it a lot. And for me, coming back and seeing family, which I love my family because they're funny. And then all my friends and whatnot and chit-chatting, people I haven't seen in a while. And just being home is no place like home, as we always say. So I just love being here. It's great to have that support, especially you have your whole state or your state behind you. Backing you, supporting you, rooting for you, it's big, and it means a lot, especially for me, because all I just need is people to support and believe in me. And once you have that, you go over 110%. So for me, just to have that and knowing that people are behind you and rooting for you and want to see you succeed and seeing you represent your country on the big stage like that, it means everything to me. Full steam ahead, that's crazy that you even asked that question because I was had an interview with GQ magazine yesterday and they asked me that same question. I really was like, man, I never really thought about everything I've accomplished and the things that the trials and tribulations that I overcame to be where I'm at today because I'm always about, okay, what's next? And always trying to get more and more and more as far as a way of, getting better and, not patting myself. And then it's okay to pat yourself in the back. But, I'm a person, I'm all about the grind, working hard and, trying to get everything I can for myself and, inspire and touch people, but get the most out of my God-given ability. And for me, it was just like, at some points at times, I'm like, man, I really did overcome a lot. Especially when I sit back and I tell my story, I'm like, dang, I did that. I did this. You know what I mean? Who would have known? You know what I'm saying? So for me to make a dream come true, and not only once but twice, it's amazing. I gotta pat myself on the back for that. That title means everything to me because that's one title that I wanted, and I'll never let nobody take it from me. So I'm always working on my speed. I'm always trying to get faster, always trying to find the ways to get better. And that's my baby, man. And I take pride in that title because, you know, it's a part of me. So, you know, I'm always working on my speed, always, man. Even I did it today. No matter what, bro, I love that title. I love being the fastest rugby player in the world. So just, you know, just saying that coming out my mouth makes me smile. Yeah, it seems like it's getting better and better every year. So for that's big, saying how I'm doing something right. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, for more athletes keep coming out and be able to represent their country on that big stage, because not a lot of people are able to, you know, be at the Olympics, and for us to produce the amount of athletes that we're doing, that says a lot itself. What I remember from Rio being part of that is, especially with the opening ceremonies, is you see all, you know, the countries, and you see Michael Phelps, you see Serena Williams, you see, you know, all the NBA players and whoever else that, you know, people that you grew up watching, and here you are and you're marching and you standing next to them and you're riding with the bus with them and you're talking to them. It's like, man, I never would have thought I'd be doing this. And just to experience that alone, just walking and just seeing the crowd and the atmosphere and how amazing it is, it's nothing like it. You know, it's only you can experience to feel it, and you just feel so lucky and blessed, and you just really sit there and you look around and be like, man, I'm really here. I mean, I did this. You know, I'm one of the best in the world. You know, so it's a great feeling. It's like football a little bit, but without no pads. You play offense and defense. It's nonstop action. You play 2 halves, 7-minute halves, 14 minutes total, but you play 6 games. Very tough, very demanding, very tenacious, but it's fun, very fun. And it's kind of like soccer a little bit with a little bit of gymnastics, because, you know, you're lifting people in the air, and it's fun. So it's like a lot of different sports into one, but I'm like, there's no sport like it. Oh, you got to, man, because it's so demanding. You know, we train from like 7:30 to 3:30. You know, basically every day, and it's demanding on the body. You know, we travel the world and whatnot, and you know the amount of hours that we put in and how high of intensity it is. You gotta love it, man. You can't just, if you don't love it, then you know you're gonna be miserable. Especially because the amount of, you know, what we endure physically and mentally. If you don't love it, then you be the only, as I say, only the strong survive. And if you're not strong, then boop, you out the door. I'm going into Tokyo with a little more edge. I'm always got a little edge, but my brother passed away in November, so that was tough on me, because he was like my best friend, my good friend. So that was tough, and he's 28 and 29. It would have been 29 in January. So for me, it makes it a little more bittersweet. So, and he was one of my biggest friends, man. So that changed for me and my family a lot. So he was like the life of the party. I've been doing good, man. Just you know, just working hard, and you know, he made me appreciate, and I made me appreciate. But even going to that year, I was like, man, I never got home a lot, and you know, I was always, you know, grinding, and I didn't call my family. I was like, man, I can't. You know, just in case something do happen, I gotta make sure I stay on top of stuff. You know, I gotta balance stuff a lot more, and I did that year. So I was glad, and I was glad I made that effort before that, to not take things for granted, especially when it comes to family. And I know I'm always working a lot, and I'm in a whole different state. So going through that year, man, I was like, even when he passed, I couldn't be mad at myself, because I was just like about the situation, because I was like, man, I didn't take it for granted in our relationship. And I told him I loved him the day before. So yeah, so just managing everything, which is a lot, which is hard to do, especially when you got so many things happening in your life, and you're trying to reach these goals, and you got to try to manage and keep everything in the right perspective, and perspective is everything. So yeah, man, I've been dealing with that situation. I've been pretty fine, luckily. So I think the strength of the Lord, and you know, the perspective that I have, and you know, just, you know, grinding and not taking nothing for granted. It's yeah. Oh, most definitely. I mean, I was just in London, and on my wristband, I tape my wrist, and you know, I wrote his name on it, and you know, and it gives me, you know, even when I get tired or fatigued, it gives me an extra boost of, you know, what I'm fighting for, you know, a reason to fight. And I'm always got a reason to fight, but now I got an extra reason to fight. emotional. You know, just thinking about it right now, I feel like getting emotional, and it's you know, just thinking about everything that I've, you know, overcome and endured and, you know, been through, and here I am again, and then everything that we just talked about, you know, coming into one place and just thinking about it, just it's a bittersweet. It'd be great, man. It'd be a great feeling and a great accomplishment, and to know that regardless of what I've endured and went through, and all the hard work and all the sacrificing paid off, and it'll pay off regardless, because medal or no medal, I'm doing something a lot of people can't do or wish they could do, and that's being an Olympian. So for me, my hard work, regardless of how the outcome comes, because I'm not really worried about the outcome, as long as I know I've done everything I can throughout the process, I'll be fine with the outcome. But, you know, having a medal, of course, that's what we want, and that's what I want, to bring that on top of it, and then reflecting back on everything else, it's going to be really emotional, but in a good way, in a good way.